So again, we are in Parashat Acharei. We're going to learn from the Noam Elimelech, and the line starts where it says "V'zeh el pnei kaporet." Oh, sorry, no. We're going to do one before that. I'm sorry. The second ma'amar where it starts "Daber el Aaron achicha." Sorry. And this parasha, we already read that the sons of Aaron, they died. Two of them, Nadav and Avihu. Yesterday we explained one approach when they went closer, when they approached closer to Hashem, b'korvatam lifnei Hashem. And after that, Aaron HaKohen, the death of the sons were 3 weeks ago in Parashat Shmini. Now it's the Acharei Mot, it's after the death. Now Aaron is getting the instructions. One of the instructions is coming to Aaron through Moshe Rabbeinu, and the Torah says, Hashem tells Moshe, Daber el Aaron achicha. Talk to your brother Aaron. Like as if Hashem was upset with Aaron, because sometimes Hashem spoke directly to Aaron. But nevertheless, the Torah says, Daber el Aaron achicha, speak to your brother Aaron. The Noam Elimelech says, Nir'a lefaresh, it seems to me to explain, שהתורה הקדושה, that the Holy Torah מלמדת, is teaching me. לאנשים המוכיחים לבני אדם, if you want to prove somebody. Sometimes you're looking at a person and you see they're not behaving right. Or they're going against the Torah, or they're doing something that is forbidden by the Torah. Or many other ways, but sometimes you see a situation and you want to prove somebody. לאנשים המוכיחים לבני אדם שלא יוכיחו לאנשים לצים ורקנים. He's basically saying, don't prove somebody if the person is, he gives two descriptions. One of them is letzim. Letzim is a person who's like a jokester. He's just making fun of everything. Not a serious person. And the other one is rekanim, somebody who's empty. That is, the essence is empty. Now it can be empty from mitzvot, or empty that the nonsense that the person is doing because there's no kedusha inside. It's all about nonsense. Hevel is an emptiness. Asher bevadai en divrehem nichnasim klal beoznehem. That these type of people, that what you're going to say, it's talking to a wall. It's not even going into the ear. There is a term that says it goes in from one ear and goes out of the other ear. This people's not going to even go into the ear, he says. Whatever you're going to say is not going to even enter. As the script says, Al tochach letz. There is a verse that says, don't prove a person who's I don't know if the word jokester is the right word, but let's somebody who's just making fun of everything and doesn't take things serious and doesn't want to even hear what you have to say. רק לאנשים המקשיבים לכל תוכחה ומוסר ורוצים בתשובה. Only to give תוכחה to a person that will listen to the sound of rebuke and musar and getting, so to say, hit on their head. Why? Because they want to do tshuva. ורוצים tshuva. עליהם יגידו ויורד דרכי התשובה. On these people, you would say, they're interesting to better themselves. To come now to a person that has no agenda to make himself better, he doesn't even see himself as doing wrong, what good will the tochacha will do? You'll just upset him, you're just going to get more upset, get more anti, who's going to make fun of you. Sometimes you tell a person that don't do this or that, they start making fun of you. They don't listen to you. So he says here, don't try to prove a person that you know that they're not going to even accept what they have to say. You want to prove somebody is when you know a person will actually listen and says, yeah, I want to better myself. Tell me where I'm doing wrong. Because I want to do tshuva. Which you can interpret it in another way from what he's saying, the other way around, I mean. that when if you really want to do tshuva, you have to make with yourself an account on a daily basis. Am I really serious about my tshuva? If I'm serious about my tshuva, then I have to do something. Can't play games here. If I'm lazy, just admit, I'm lazy today. No, today I'm lazy. I'm not saying that's the right solution. But you have to be serious with your tshuva, which can be explained what he's saying here. Somebody comes and gives you rebuke, tochecha, don't right away pull up your guards. Say, wait a minute, somebody has something to say. Doesn't mean that he's right. Doesn't mean that he's coming from a good place. Maybe he's just trying to make fun of me. Maybe he's just trying to put me down. But let me first hear. Let me first see what he hears. I always have willing to listen. And even if the person doesn't have a pure agenda to help me, sometimes people just like giving tochecha to make them feel better. But you want to know constantly, somebody comes and tells you something, put your guard down. You can call it your guard, you can call it your ego. But listen, because you might hear some words of wisdom coming out from you don't even know who. Sometimes it will come from a random person you don't even know. He'll come and tell you something. At the first glance, he'll be like, what is this drunk guy telling me? What is this bum telling me? What is this homeless person coming and telling me? And you're going to brush him off. Or right away come, of course, anger, pride, ego, arrogance will right away, whoa, what are you telling me? Smart person right away puts all the sensors down and says, okay, let me hear what the person says. Let me digest it. Somebody came to me not too long ago, and she was like, can I give you constructive criticism? Yeah, of course, why not? It's free. Don't charge for that. And she said something which in the first glance seemed very annoying. And because I got annoyed, I was like, okay, that means I have to listen to it. If I get annoyed by what she has to say, then let me be a little bit more mature than my childish behavior to push her off and say, okay, if she touched a nerve. If she touched a nerve, something needs to be refined here. So I listened. I didn't like what she had to say, because it's stepping on my right toe. But this is where you apply your maturity. This is where you apply your desire to do tshuva. And you say, wait a minute, Hashem sent this woman. I don't know who she is. I don't know why she told me that. But obviously Hashem wanted me to hear it. I could have now apply arrogance or ego or pride or whatever it is and be like, lady, do me a favor, just get out of here. I don't want to hear what you have to say. I don't even know who you are. Could have been even worse than telling her, you telling me what to do? You telling me that I am wrong? Do you know who I am? I mean, that's what usually people answer. But the right approach is exactly what he's saying here, but reverse. Wait a minute, you have something to say? Let me listen. Maybe you're going to teach me something today. Maybe you're going to inspire me. Maybe you're going to show me something that I don't know. You know that a few months ago, I was giving a class here for the ladies. I don't even know why. One of my hairs here was sticking like that. It was like literally like this. I don't even know why. It was like hanging like that. And I don't know. I don't know how I look. And I'm teaching, and then we load the video on the computer. Happened to be my kids were with me, and they start laughing. Look how you look! I'm looking at the video. I'm like, oh my gosh. Why didn't everybody tell me? The video already went online, got like 400,000 views. And I'm like, what, we're going to take the video now down? It's a good class. And my kids were having a ball. They're laughing, look how you look like Gargamel. And in my mind, I'm like, wow, that's pretty embarrassing. I look how I look. But I started laughing. I was like, if it made a couple thousand people smile or laugh, good. So people laugh. People got a good laugh out of it. Good. But then later on, I told the ladies, why didn't you tell me that I have an antenna sticking from my right ear? They just go like this. Or make a hint, something. So since it's the same idea, if you have something sticking out, wouldn't you want somebody to come and tell you have something in your beard? So somebody comes and tells you, listen, you're too loud. Or somebody comes and tells you, you didn't talk nice to that person. or tone it down, chew with your mouth closed, whatever it is. If you right away let the ge'ava kick in, how are you going to fix yourself? Hashem is so kind, He's sending you the right people to tell you, psst, tone it down. Same thing here. That's why He says, speak to your brother Aaron. He wants to say, רוצה לומר, שהוא אחיך, that he's your brother. He told Moshe Rabbeinu, he didn't say, דבר אל Aaron. Speak to Aaron. He says, speak to Aaron, your brother. Why? Because he is your brother. ורוצה במעשים טובים. And your brother wants to refine himself. He wants to do good deeds. ויקבל תוכחה ממך. And he's going to accept the rebuke from you. Aaron from Moshe. But again, we're taking the verse in the Torah and now we're applying it into my life. If I see my brother, Hashem tells me, rebuke him. He's your brother. He will accept it from you. If it's coming from a place of, I'm your brother. I'm not coming to attack you. I'm not coming to put you down. I'm not coming to feel superior to you or to make you feel bad. I'm coming because you're my brother. I care about you. I don't want you to fail, chas v'shalom. ויקבל תוכחה ממך. If you come like a brother, he will accept the תוכחה, the rebuke. Then the verse continues, וכה תאמר אליו, and they should say to him as follow, ואל יבוא בכל עת אל הקודש. This is the verse, אל יבוא בכל עת אל הקודש. We learned it yesterday, if you remember. Don't come at any time into the Holy of Holies. Don't just come in whenever you want. This is not a place that you feel like it and you come in. What exactly is this holy place that he's referring to? Mibet laparochet, after the curtain. Because in the Mishkan there were different areas later on in Bet HaMikdash. But then there was an area where there was a curtain, it's called the parochet. And after the parochet, this is the Holy of Holies. You don't just walk in there whenever you want. But what does that got to do with me? You know, only a Kohen Gadol goes to the Kodesh HaKodeshim. Millions of people, one person goes. So why? The whole Torah is talking about a commandment for one person. So obviously if the Torah is talking about it, then there's some message to me here. Perush, what's the meaning? אם הוא אדם כזה, שיש לו כל מיני עיתים לטובה או לרעה, שלפעמים עושה מעשים טובים ולפעמים להפך, שנכשל חס ושלום, לפעמים בעבירה, אדם כזה אל יבוא בכל עת אל הקודש. I had to read it in one shot, then we'll translate it slowly. The explanation, if it's a person that he has times that he's doing good things and times that he's doing things that are not so good, and that's us. We don't have all day long good. We're not in that level yet. I have moments that I'm doing good things. I learn Torah, I do mitzvot, I help people, I'm courteous, I'm patient, I'm not judgmental and so forth. But then I have periods in my day that I have anger, that I'm impatient, that I lie, I cheat, lashon hara, whatever it is. So I have sometimes good things, sometimes bad things, chas v'shalom. A person like this should not come at any given time to the place of holy. Adam kazeh, this type of a person, al yavo bechol et el HaKodesh. Don't come every opportunity into the realm of Kedusha. She'al yikanes atzmo besodot elyonim. That you should not enter yourself into the secrets, the exalted secrets. Now there are many ways to explain it. First of all, and most important, Lavo el HaKodesh, to come into the realm of holiness, is not for us to go behind the parochet, behind the curtain. Rather to the place of Kedusha. Now if I'm coming with a sin and I didn't do tshuva for it, or I'm coming with any type of dirt, anger, arrogance, and so forth, then don't come with that attitude into something holy, because you'll spoil it all. Rather, you have to go do tshuva first before you entering something higher. But not only that, sometimes when you approach to a higher level of Kedusha, you start receiving and learning secrets from the world above. And if you come again with a sin or with a bad attitude, then it can harm you. The secrets from higher worlds can actually harm you instead of benefiting you. That's why when one wants to learn Sod, wants to learn Zohar and Kabbalah and Hasidut, to be clean. And just come in and start learning it, and 5 minutes before that, cheat in business. And the night before that, go and party. And whatever it is, you can't, because then these secrets will actually harm you. You have to come holy into the Kodesh. That's why before we learn, we go to the mikveh, we work on ourselves. Now this Kodesh that we're speaking about, Kodesh is holiness, or a place of holiness. Asher mibet laparochet. What does it mean after the curtain? Perush, the explanation, Kevan she'asa la'atzmo masach hamavdil beino ben ha'kedusha. When I make sin, then I create a curtain between me and Hashem. It's called masach. Masach is more like a screen, not a curtain. I'm using the word curtain. It can be a curtain, can be a screen, can be a mechitza, a wall. But when I do a sin, then I separate myself from Hashem. It's like I'm pulling down a drape with my sin. Doesn't matter right now. The sin can be cheating in business, the sin can be lying and stealing, and the sin can also becoming very angry. It's also a sin to lose your temper, and many others. So, but the second that a person does a sin, he makes a curtain. And when it says, don't come into the Holy of Holies after the curtain, that curtain is my sin. I'm talking about the curtain in the Kodesh HaKodashim, that we're not allowed to go there. Since you made the screen that separates between you and holiness, don't come into the realm of holiness where the secrets, the hidden secrets are dwelling there. Miyad, don't come right away in. רק מתחילה ישוב מהעבירות שבידו בתשובה והתחרט מאוד. You want to enter it? Do tshuva first. And part of the tshuva is that you have to have remorse and regret. If you don't have remorse and regret, your tshuva is worthless. וזהו אל פני הכפורת, and this is what it means to the face of the kaporet. Kaporet, you can explain it as the part in Kodesh HaKodashim that was above the holy ark. But kaporet comes from the word in Hebrew kapara. Kapara is an atonement. שהתשובה והחרטה מכפרת עוון. You want to receive atonement for your sin, then you have to do tshuva, and you have to have regret and remorse. Don't think there's any other way to do it. If you do a sin, you have to do tshuva. Tshuva is, first of all, you acknowledge that you did something wrong. You have to acknowledge it. You have to admit to yourself, I did a mistake here. You can't come and say, no, because of he said this and that, then I did this and I just answered it. No, just say like a man, I made a mistake. We started now, after a whole month, we didn't say Tachanun. Everybody had an easy way out now for a whole month. Now this morning, Hashamnu, Bagadnu, Gazalnu, back to admitting. Why do you think we bang on our heart 3 times a day? To bring you to the level of awareness that you did a mistake, just admit, just be a man. Just say, I was wrong. Who am I kidding? Most people, it's very hard for them to admit in arguments or in fights or when they do a sin. And just to come and say, I'm sorry, you are right. I sinned against you. Or to in front of Hashem. Most people they have a very hard time. I don't know why. So this is the beginning of all tshuva. If you don't know how to admit, then... So first of all, when you do a sin, you have to acknowledge the fact, I just made a sin. And I made a sin. You can be true to yourself by saying, I'm sorry, my yetzer hara, today was Superman. He crushed me in a second. Or whatever it is. But you have to be honest with yourself. If you don't know how to be honest with yourself, nothing's going to work. We learned that yesterday. Today, the sphere of today is Tiferet Shebatiferet. The beauty in truth and the truth that is beauty. Beautiful. That's what we learned yesterday. It's all about truth. So to do tshuva, a lot of people say, I want to do tshuva, but I don't know how. Tshuva is not to put a yarmulke on your head and join a group and start jumping up and down and behaving like the rest of the group. This is just being a sheep, and you just choose which herd to go to. This is not tshuva. Tshuva is that you find yourself, first of all, a good guide that will tell you, let me teach you how to do tshuva, and then you have to apply it yourself. And the first and most important is that you have to put the cards on the table. Who am I kidding? I'm full of sins. I'm full of bad character traits. I have to work on myself. And you admit. Then you have to start repenting and saying, okay, I'm going to stop doing this. I'll stop doing that. I'll try to stop doing this. I'll start being more aware. But one of the most important things is to have regret and remorse. That's why Hashem puts a lot of hardships on us. Because the real tshuva comes when you are crushed. Then you really regret. Now, when you're just doing, basic tshuva, then you might do the admitting. Admitting is called vidui, that I admit. I do tshuva, I say I'm not going to do it again. But deep down in my mind, I don't regret. It was fun. The party was good. It was a good party. I don't regret it. And that last night date was also a very good date, and not regretting it. So Hashem says, okay, so I'll give you more opportunities to start regretting. Now when you don't apply this charata, this regretting, then Hashem pulls you from your ear, and then He starts smashing you from one place to another, till you have so much sorrow from within. That's when you're like, okay, now I feel sorry I did this sin, because I see I'm getting smacked to my face now, backwards and forth. So if you don't do it yourself, Hashem will help you do it. He's very kind. He will assist you to do tshuva. But why get to that point when you need to get some slaps on left and right? And learn how to have remorse, how to have regret. And to know how to have regret is when you focus on the damage that was done. So, but nevertheless, this is a hard part of the tshuva. So it's called charata. So first of all, there are 4 parts of tshuva. Not to do the sin anymore, that's a given. That's first one. Then you have to admit, vidui. Then you have to have Kabbalah la'atid, to accept not to do it again. And the final part is to have remorse, to have charata. I regret doing it. Now when you invested the best of your money into a bad business deal and it went to the toilet, and then it brought you into more debt, you regret the day that you invested there. Sometimes you go into business with somebody, they cheat you, they take advantage of you, and you say, I regret the day I ever met you. I regret the day that I started talking to you. Why? Because you're suffering a loss there. And you realized that your action caused you a very bad reaction. So you have to understand that with the Avera. You have to bring yourself to understanding that it messed it up. You have to have regret. So it says, "V'zeh el pnei kaporet." And again, kaporet lashon kapara. Kapara is the atonement. How do I get atonement? Tshuva. You have to do tshuva, and most important, charata. Remorse and regret. That's the charata mechaperet avon. The regret, it will atone the sin. What does it mean, atonement of the sin? Take now a beautiful shirt, a suit, whatever it is. You can't wait to wear it. You found it. You saved months to buy that beautiful suit. And as you put it 5 minutes later, somebody comes with ketchup and spritzes the ketchup all over you. That happens when you have many kids. Then you don't stay so clean. You with work clothes all day long. The suit comes out of the dry cleaner. Oh, happy, it smells good, nice lines. You just put it on. One kid throws up here. The other kid pulls your sleeve, makes here hummus or whatever it is, and then you look dirty within 3 seconds. Welcome to parenthood. So I was once so neat, and everything was like perfectly clean. And if like a speck of dust fell on my shirt or my suit, the poor man that would be in the diameter of 3 meters around me, what would happen? And and then you start having kids. It doesn't work like that. You pick up a kid, he's there, he starts drooling all over you. So, oh my God, what did you do? So then you start covering yourself. I had all these systems how I'm covered, but it doesn't work. So after 3-4 kids, you're like, okay, it's going to be dirty now for the next 40 years. After 40 years, kids will grow up. I'll finally start having clean clothes. Then will come grandkids. Yeah, and then at some point I'll start throwing up on myself. You're 100% right. But nevertheless, you have a beautiful garment and it gets stained. I don't know about you, meat used to drive me nuts. It would drive me nuts if I had a stain right here. And that's a sin. You have a garment of the soul. The soul is beautiful. The soul is radiating light and kedusha, and it has to have garments. The reason why we have garments in this world is because the soul in the world above has garments. In the beginning, Adam and Chava were naked, and later on, Hashem dressed them with garments. But the soul also have garments in the world above. We were learning yesterday about Gan Eden. How do you think you enter into Gan Eden? The only way you can receive kedusha, light from Gan Eden, is if you have garments. The more pure and clean and holy the garments, the more holiness you will receive in Gan Eden. And what happens if you have a stain here? You know how it looks in Shamayim when you come to the heavens and there's a stain on the garment because you lied, or you cheated, or you slandered, or you did Lashon Hara, whatever it is. Now imagine you have 5,000 sins, everything is just stains. Now how do you remove the stain in this world? You take it to the dry cleaner, and you pay a lot of money, and not always they get it. Sometimes they bring it back, and you're like, listen, the stain is still here. And sometimes the stain will stay forever. Kaparat Avon, we mentioned this term a lot, the atonement of sin. Just yesterday we were praying Musaf of Rosh Chodesh, and it's talking about Kaparat Avon, the atonement of sin. What is the atonement of sin? The removement of the stain. Then the stain doesn't exist anymore. I can definitely tell you that if one gets embarrassed in this world, some people don't care. Some people go in, they'll go to a wedding with dirty clothes, they don't care. But some people can relate with it, and in this world they don't like looking dirty. They like looking clean. Nobody wants to look dirty. But in the world above, it's not befitting. It's not the right way. The soul gets extremely embarrassed when it comes up to Shamayim and there's stains on it. And some stains are very big. And depending on the sin, big sins, it's big stains. For example, some of the sins, it's not even a stain. You know, the Zohar is explaining we're not allowed to, as Jewish men, to be with a non-Jewish woman. Not because she is bad, because we are part of the nation of the Kadosh Baruch Hu. We're not allowed to assimilate. I gave once a class why we're not allowed to assimilate. It's not because the non-Jews are less better than us. It's because we are engaged to the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And can you imagine a woman that is engaged to a man and she goes out with another different man? What an embarrassment it is, what a chutzpah it is. And we are engaged to the Kadosh Baruch Hu. We are actually engaged. He gave us an engagement ring, the Torah. There was a wedding in Matan Torah. And now we are Knesset Israel, we are Hashem's wife. But right now, since the destructions of the temples and all the mess that we're done, we are now in a level of irusin. We are engaged to the Kadosh Baruch Hu. So Hashem says, I'm sorry to tell you, we are engaged. You're not allowed to go to anybody else. So there's nothing to do if the nations are better or less than us. That's nothing to do with that. If you explain it wrong, then it makes it sound like we're thinking that we're above the nations and that the nations, we need to degrade them. No, we're just engaged to the master of the universe. Therefore, you're not allowed to assimilate. It's simple as that. Since I'm not allowed to assimilate, then I'm not allowed to marry a woman that is not Jewish. Since I'm not allowed to marry a woman that is not Jewish, I can't have relations with such a woman. I can only have marital relations with my own wife. So if I'm having marital relations, chas v'shalom, with a woman who's not Jewish, then first of all, she's not my wife, first sin. Then, non-Jewish woman, they don't go to the mikveh. So I'm not allowed to have marital relations with a woman that is impure, in nidah, second sin. And more than that, she's a non-Jewish woman, third sin. So a man can be with a non-Jewish woman and have one of the most severest sins, 3 kretot. This is what's called karet. Now the Zohar says that in such a situation, the nefesh, the soul of the non-Jewish woman, since you came into contact with her in relations, the nefesh is stuck to your nefesh. Now you're going to go into the world above and something is stuck on your leg. It's just going with you. And everybody's like, well, what's that on your leg, mister? No, it's just one party. I was a little bit drunk and I went home. I don't remember even what's her name. But nevertheless, it's stuck to you. It's stuck to your body. It's stuck to your nefesh because got connected. When there's a physical unity, there's a spiritual unity. So the soul gets stuck together. Now go get rid of this. You're going into Gan Eden, something is like tied to your leg. Zohar gives a very harsh description about that. But some sins are so severe, now go get rid of it, rip it off your neshama. Now what do you, excuse me? Tshuva will take it off. Tshuva can do everything. There's no question here that tshuva can erase everything. Everything. A person can be the most wicked person in the world and do tshuva from the depth of his heart, come up to Shamayim, clean record, not even one speck of dirt. But that's not easy tshuva. That's hard tshuva. And it's tshuva. It's not that Sunday you are observant and Monday you're not, and Tuesday a little bit, and Wednesday if you feel like it. You are 100% devoted to the Kadosh Baruch Hu, morning to night, 24/7, all year round, praying 3 times a day, eating kosher, Shabbat, everything, the whole thing, 100%. There's no negotiations here. And after you master that, now you have to go above and beyond and above and beyond. And yeah, Hashem is going to put you through a washing machine for whatever amount of time that He wants to. No doubt that tshuva, you can leave this world clean like as if you came in. That's what we were learning yesterday in the Zohar. This is exactly what we're learning. So there's no question that tshuva can do anything. En davar ha'omed b'fnei tshuva. En kaz davar. There's no such a thing. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says clearly in the Zohar, a person can do tshuva for everything. Idol worship, forbidden relations, anything, murder. But I didn't say it's easy. So you have to prepare for a hard ride. This is not something that you do within a year or two. This can take you 40, 50 years of hard tshuva, but that's the best decision you can make to yourself. You don't want to leave this world with even one sin that is hanging over your hand. That's why it's not only between me and the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Now go start figuring out who you stole from, who you cheated, who you embarrassed, who you went against, who you slandered, who you lied to. Then that's why our sages say, "V'chol chayecha yu b'tshuva." Now a person starts getting dizzy. How am I going to find all these people? How am I going to start doing all this? Where am I going to even start? Then you just have to have the will. You have to come and knock on the door. Hashem says, "Here, I'll open the door." Just go back to the prayer that we say on Yom Kippur. There's one part that we say, the Kadosh Baruch Hu accepts the one hadofkim b'tshuva. You come and knock on the door. Hi, I want to do tshuva. Hashem says, no problem. I see you're sincere. He opens the door. You have to come to the door. Hashem will open the door and Hashem will help you go through it. And the Talmud says, person that wants to come to become pure, they'll help you. You'll get assistance from above. But you have to be sincere and you have to really want to do tshuva. And they test you. They really test you to see if you're really sincere. They'll close the door a few times, kind of like what they do to non-Jews that want to convert. Why do you think unfortunately in our generation, a very large amount of the Batei Dinim, they don't converting for political reasons, for power, for whatever it is, for not the right reasons, and they're driving them crazy. It's not nice. It's not the right way. But nevertheless, the rabbi that needs to convert, he needs to a couple times push the person back to see if the person is really sincere. So, because if the person is not really sincere and they get the first refusal, okay, thank you so much, I'll go somewhere else. So same thing when you do tshuva. You think the Kadosh Baruch Hu right away says, hey, thanks for coming back. Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to give you a slap, let you see, digest it. You'll come back again, he'll slap you again. That's why a lot of people, they come to do tshuva and they come to a lot of problems. And they're like, and people say, it feels like I can't do tshuva, like as if Hashem is closing all the doors in front of me. Yeah, Hashem wants to see if you're for real. Before Hashem will say, yes, I will accept your tshuva, let me see if you're real. Think I'm just going to take you here for nothing? But once you convince the Kadosh Baruch Hu that you are for real, you convince the Kadosh Baruch Hu, first of all with your actions, that you remove at least 60-70% of the junk. That you're saying, here, I'm giving up all the pleasures, all the nonsense, and that you have to be persistent, and you take on yourself a lot of mitzvot, and you start. It's not easy. You have to make a whole school for tshuva, how to do tshuva. But nevertheless, when the Kadosh Baruch Hu sees you serious, and He takes you serious, you have 100% assistance from above. This is called Sayata Dishmaya. I told you once the story. There was once a gathering with the Baal Shem Tov. There is a meal that we do. There's a very important meal to do, and it's called Seudah Revi'it, the fourth meal on Shabbat, which is done Motzei Shabbat. So some people call it Seudat Malka Meshicha, the meal of the king of Mashiach. Some call it Seudat David HaMelech, the meal of King David. Some call it fourth meal, whatever it is. We're obligated by the Torah, from the Torah, to do 3 meals on Shabbat. We already learned 2 months ago about what the Zohar has to say about it. We had a whole series of classes, exactly the Zohar explaining every little mystical, deep reason why we do these 3 meals. But then we have the 4th meal. And some people, they have the custom, this is more common to the Sfardis, that they sing a certain song, and in the song, you either sing it with the tune, without the tune, it's less relevant. But in that tune, in the song, we're asking Hashem to open gates to us in Shamayim. Ptach li sha'ar ha'rachamim, ptach li sha'ar ha'parnasa, ptach li sha'ar ha'refuah. Open me the gate of mercy, the gate of parnasa, of livelihood, the gate of love, the gate of fear. And there's dozens of gates there. One time the Baal Shem Tov was sitting with his students and Seudat Melaveh Malka. And he was asking the students, which one do you think is the most important gate that needs to be opened in Shamayim? Because everything in Shamayim is gates. One student says, me, please, I want it. The Baal Shem Tov says, yes, Moishele, what's your answer? He tells him, the gates of Tshuva. If the gates of Tshuva are closed, you lost. You'll never get to do Tshuva. That's the most important gate. Baal Shem Tov tells him, very nice, a very good answer, but that's not the most important gate. Oh, no. The next student says, me, please, master, me. Okay, say your opinion. The other student says, the gates of tshuva, of ahava, the gates of love. If you don't have love to the Kadosh Baruch Hu, to the Torah, to mitzvot, to other people, you can't do anything in this world. He says, very good answer, but it's not the right answer. The next student says, the gates of parnasa, livelihood. You don't have money, what are you going to do? Are you going to be a poor person? You can't even do anything. Anyways, one after the other, they go and throw different gates, and the Baal Shem Tov says it's very right, it's very important, but it's not the right one. Finally, he ran out of students. So Baal Shem Tov used to travel with his daughter everywhere, Udel. And he tells her, maybe my little girl can open her mouth, maybe some pearls will come out of that mouth. So she stands up and she says, I think the most important gate that needs to be opened in Shamayim is called the gates of Sayata Deshmaya, of help from assistance from above. And Baal Shem Tov tells her, you're right, this is the gate. This is the most important gate. Because if you don't have Sayata Deshmaya, Sayata is assistance, Deshmaya of the heavens. If you don't have Hashem on your side to help you, nothing that you want to do, nothing's going to happen. You can't even move a finger without the Kadosh Baruch Hu helping you. En adam zokef etzba. A person cannot even make his finger straight. Unless they are allowing from the heavens for that person to move the finger. So the most important gate in Shamayim is Sayata Deshmaya. If you don't have assistance from above, you are a nothing. You are paralyzed. You can't do anything. This is the most important thing. So in order for me to do tshuva, I just come to the door, I knock on the door with tears. Hashem, please, I'm begging you, accept me. Now come, I will help you. That's why when you really want to do tshuva, that's when life starts becoming hard. Because Hashem says, I want you to come with a broken heart. This is called Lev Nishbar V'Nidkeh. If you come to Yom Kippur and you're not crying on Yom Kippur, not good. Even if one tear, you need one tear at least to come out. If you passed a Yom Kippur and one tear didn't come out of your eye, that's not a good Yom Kippur. You have to find at least a moment that you cry a little bit, but real crying. You have to bring yourself to a point that you realize what sins that you made. So this is called Lev Nishbar V'Nidkeh. A broken heart breaks all barriers. That's where you go in. So needless to say, tshuva is not easy, and you need a lot of assistance from above. And the reason why you want to do it, because you don't want to accept the reality that you're leaving this world and you left something behind. Yaakov Avinu, multi-trillionaire, came out with 11 kids out of Haran. Factories, cattle, maidservants, Bill Gates. As he crosses the river, he remembers that he forgets a few tins. Tins of metal. Not even metal, how do you call it? Pach. What? Aluminum? Tin. Yeah, tin. Not even aluminum. Well, I can go to Costco, buy a few of them for $2. Makes a U-turn, leaves everybody, I can't say behind, it's in front. He goes behind, crosses the river again to get these little tins. And of course, is waiting there, the head of the mafia, the Tsar, the minister of Esav, starts fighting with him. Like in an action movie. Neo and the agent, they're fighting now the whole night. Kung Fu, Aikido, Jiu-Jitsu. The whole night. Can you imagine what's going on there next to the river? They're fighting with each other. Dust is going up. It says the Vakar Glehem. The dust went all the way up to Kisei HaKavod. And they're fighting there the whole night. MMF, how do you call it? BBF, what's this called? The FFF, I don't even know all these acronyms, all these... MMF? MMA. And Yaakov Avinu is showing him his ability in martial arts. Finally, Yaakov gets him into some headlock. You know, the angel says, I give up. Yeah, you win. But nevertheless, why Yaakov goes back there? So of course, there's a whole explanation, gorgeous explanation. This is explained by the Ismach Moshe. You can find it in his book, in one of his books, in the Akdama. I shared that story many times about the Pachei HaShemen, why Yaakov went back there. This is the Neshamot of Bnei Israel. Yaakov Avinu went to Haran. He had to bring, first of all, 4 Neshamot out of the Klippa. Leah, Rachel, Zilpa, and Bilha. Then he had to bring another 11 Neshamot, big Neshamot, out of the Klippa. Out of Haran is the Klippa, the 11 tribes. Then he had to bring out all the Neshmot Israel. Yaakov went out of Haran with 600,000 sheep. You know what 600,000 sheep? That's half of Israel. Just to put the sheep, where to put them? Where do you put 600,000 sheep? Just imagine, that's what he had. And the 600,000 sheep is the Maaser. So he had 6 million sheep. So, but nevertheless, the 600,000 sheep is the 600,000 souls of the nation of Israel that he took out of the Klippa. And these pitchers of oil that he went back to bring were some souls that were left behind. And these souls are the souls that were stuck so deep in the Klippa that Yaakov Avinu says, I'm not leaving them behind. I'm not leaving one soul in the hands of the Klippa. So, and there's a whole more story. You can look at it. A couple times I spoke about it. You can find a few classes online that I talk about, say the whole story. Because the Ismach Moshe, he says on himself that he remembered all his Gilgulim. He actually said, I remember all my Gilgulim. And he says that he was at the time of the argument of Korach and Moshe. He was there. He remembers the Machloket, he remembers the same thing. His name is the Ismach Moshe. He's the founder of the Hasidic movement that's called Satmar. And this is about going back about 250 years ago, 300 years ago. Tzaddik, something out of this world. Something in the levels that we can't fathom, or the level of a tzaddik. And so he says that he was in the time of the Machloket of Korach and Moshe. He remembers the Machloket, and when the students asked him, so which side did you take? He says, you can't even believe what a te'ava, what a yetzer hara. Everybody went to the side of Korach. It was such a tum'ah, such impurity. Everybody went. So they told him, so what did you take? He's like, I was neutral. I didn't take any side. I was just standing there. Just imagine. But nevertheless, he says on himself that he, remember that he was one of the 600,000 sheep of Yaakov Avinu of the Maaser. And how they used to do it? They had a lot of sheep. Yaakov had so many sheep. You remember the whole story with Lavan, with the ones with the dots, and so they had, thousands and thousands of sheep. So they had like a, I don't know how you call it in English, but how do you call the area where it's gated and all the sheep are in? Panic? A pen? A pen? Okay. In Hebrew it's called mira'eh. So they have one full of sheep and one empty. and then they have a little corridor connecting them both. And they open like a little door here and a little door here, and only one sheep can go. It's like very, very narrow. And they start pushing all the sheep, and they go through the corridor. And they're standing there and they're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then the 10th come, they take a little paint and they patch it on the back. That's the maaser. What did Yaakov say when he went to Haran? Kol ma asher titen li aser asrenu lach. Anything that you're going to give me, I will give you 10%. If you remember when he was dreaming, after he dreamt the famous dream with the ladder, he woke up in the morning. He says, I didn't know, this is the gates of Shamayim. So Yaakov made an oath, and he says, whatever you give me, I'll give you 10%. And then it was time to give the maaser. The Yismach Mocha says, I remember going as a sheep through the corridor, and Yaakov hitting me on my back. This is, just imagine, the maaser of Yaakov Avinu, a sheep, ends up being a tzaddik 2,000 years, 4,000 years later. This is the tzaddikim that we have, were probably the sheep, the maaserot of Yaakov Avinu. But nevertheless, it's a much more long story. I shared it a couple of times with a lot of unbelievable details. But it just goes to show you that Yaakov, a tzaddik, even for a little thing, even a little picture, is, by the way, these pictures that Yaakov took, this is the picture that they found in Chanukah. I shared that story in Chanukah, as if you remember. That picture of oil as a history, it started with Yaakov Avinu, and then it slowly, it was passed on. Moshe Rabbeinu had it, and later on, Shmuel Hanavi. So this picture that was found in Chanukah, this little picture of oil, that's the picture that Yaakov Avinu went to get. But nevertheless, the point we want to take from that, we got completely sidetracked in a very positive way, is that you can't leave anything behind. Even if you're a trillionaire like Yaakov Avinu, he was literally, in our terminology, the Bill Gates, the Warren Buffett of the generation. I don't even know, the Mike Zuckerberg. I think he's now considered one of the most richest men in the world. 60, the 60th?
68 billion.
No, 73.
Oh, yeah,
He's worth 73 billion.
So it's like second. It's like
So he's one of the most richest men in the world.
Amazon as well.
So, but nevertheless, who cares? 70 billion, 60 million, a billion. Yeah, a billion here, a billion there. You know, it usually has a 73.3. Give me the 0.3. I'm going to be very, very happy. But nevertheless, with all these billions, wait till one day that you're going to be standing in the entrance of Gan Eden, and they will come and say, I'm worth 70 billion. You'll tell them, I put tefillin once in my lifetime. That's worth 100 trillion. You take your 70 billion, stay in the back, I put tefillin once. Just imagine what happens when you put tefillin 5,000 times. So you see them now smiling with a little straight teeth. Wait till you come to Shamayim. We'll see who's the real billionaire. But nevertheless, Yaakov was a trillionaire. Money-wise, he had so much money. And just imagine how he comes out of Haran. 4 wives, 11 kids, semi-trailers of gold. And before it goes to these little things. So sometimes you do tshuva, you say, wow, look at this beard. Look at the yarmulke. It cost me 3 shekels. It's a black yarmulke. I could have bought the cheaper one for 2 shekels. And we feel rich in spirituality. And you start negating and, this mitzvah, so what if I insulted somebody here? And so what if I cheated here? It's this big. Look, I'm learning Torah 5 hours every day. I do so many good things. In our mind, we think we're spiritually rich. Don't leave anything behind. Because they're going to come one day and tell you did amazing here. But what about that? It's like a little bell. Ding, 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 ding. It's going to be hanging on your spiritual garments. So you can't leave this world knowing that you left something behind. So anyway, I'm going to finish in a second and we'll do some questions if you don't mind. But nevertheless, just by sitting here and listening to the words of the Torah, to have the acknowledgement that there is the option of tshuva, this is, you already won the lottery. You're not worth 73 billion, you're worth trillions. Just by having the ability that the ear is inclined to hear a little bit of Torah and say, yes, I want to do tshuva. Because 90% of the population of the world, the gates of tshuva are closed. They're just closed. You know how many people come and knock? Sorry, nobody's home. Knock again. I gave it the office. So that's what they used to say when we used to come and fundraise. I gave it the office. But some people come and they want to do tshuva. They get an email. Sorry, no can do today. Apply again in 3 years. So just the fact that you are in the category, in the group that are even allowed to do tshuva, they should be dancing all day long. All day long you should be dancing of joy that the Kadosh Baruch Hu is even willing to listen to you. But what we have to take our tshuva process very, very serious. This is not a joke. This is I take it very serious. I don't waste my time. I count my seconds. I don't know. I can go out now out of this door and a truck will hit me and Shalom al Israel. Chas v'shalom. But I'm just saying, in my mind, at any given moment, that's it. Out. Who says? Who gives you any guarantee? You don't have any guarantee. You wake up in the morning. You don't know how the day is going to end. You wake up in the morning, you look at your bed. I don't know if I'm going to come back here in the end of the day. If I come back here at the end of the day, when I sit at night on the bed, wow, I survived a whole day. I survived 18 hours. How did I do it? So, and again, it doesn't mean you have to live in fear, but you have to live with the awareness that every moment is a precious moment. And if that moment got wasted on nonsense, then it's a moment that will never be given back to you, and you lost an opportunity. So our sages say, Kol chayecha yu b'tshuva. Don't miss opportunities. Because sometimes you miss an opportunity, it might never ever come. And when I became observant, I was begging to Hashem. I used to beg to Hashem. I used to live in New York at the time. I was going through Kadosh Baruch Hu took me through a roller coaster in this world. So I would, without even having too much effort, I would cry every day from the pain and the sorrow and the hardship. But I would go every day. I lived in New York. I used to go to the Lubavitcher Rebbe's grave every day at night, finish a whole book of Tehillim. Every night. Go and sit there at night and pour my heart out. I would beg Hashem, help me. I'm not going out of this world how I am. Because I took it serious. This is not something that you brush off. It's okay, tomorrow I'll do that. Tomorrow I'll come to the minyan. Anyways, just to conclude what we're talking about, it says, I'm sorry I got so sidetracked, but obviously from Shamayim they wanted us to hear it. It says kapara, kaporet is lashon kapara, atonement. Tshuva v'charata, tshuva and remorse and regret will atone the sin. Now it says asher al ha'aron. The kaporet was on the aron, on the holy ark. What does it mean it was on the aron? Rotze lomar kodem limud Torah. He wants to say, before you learn Torah, yitcharet v'yidvadeh al avonotav. Before you start learning Torah, take a moment, do vidui, admit your sins, and regret them. V'yeh limud leratzon lifanav. Why? So you approach the learning of the Torah clean, with tshuva, after you did tshuva. Don't approach learning Torah with junk. If it happens to be that you made a sin, and you are aware of it, and it's time to pray or to do or to learn, do tshuva. Don't approach without tshuva. V'yidvadeh al avonotav, admit your sins. V'yeh limudo leratzon, and his learning will be accepted in front of Hashem. Leratzon lifanav yitbarach shmo, that Hashem will accept it. How can you learn Torah? I come and say I'm learning Torah now, and 2 minutes before that I made a sin. The Aron, when it says the kaporet was on the Aron Kodesh, the Aron is a hint to the Torah, because that's where the Luchot HaBrit were, the tablets, but not the iPads, the other tablets. Al Shem shemunachot ba'aron zeh ha'ikar. The tablets were placed in the Aron, into the ark, and that was the center of everything. In Kodesh HaKodeshim, inside was the Aron Kodesh, the tablets were everything. That's the Ikar. The Amar HaKatuv, and the script said, Ki be'anan, because in a cloud, meaning, Gam im asa la'atzmo masach ha'mavdil. Even if you made yourself a screen that separates you between you and God, Kmo shekatuv, as it says, Sakkota be'anan lach, me'avor tefila. He's quoting, he's taking a verse and he's quoting a cloud, is making a barrier between you and the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Af al pichen er'eh Era'eh al kaporet, even though you have the screen, you made a sin in front of the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Nevertheless, what does Hashem say? I will show, I will reveal and appear on the kaporet. The Shekhinah used to appear on the kaporet itself. The kaporet is the part above the Holy Ark. Perush, what is the meaning of that? Al yadei tshuva v'acharata, by doing tshuva and regretting and remorse, yarei alav Hashem yitbarach lekablo. Hashem will appear and will accept your tshuva. V'lo yamut, and he will not die. If you remember the whole verse, we're interpreting the verse. And the verse ends with v'lo yamut, he will not die. Shegdola koach hatshuva, the power of tshuva is powerful. Shemarechet yamim, it will give you a long life. Whenever the Torah says arichut yamim, anytime you will find in the Torah the term arichut yamim, long life, it's referring to olam haba. It's not referring to this world that you're going to live till 98. It's referring to arichut yamim, to the days to come, that yamei chayecha amaleh, the days in the world to come are going to be fulfilled. You're going to live for eternity. This is arichut yamim. Ve'en lecha davar she'omed bifnei tshuva. And nothing stands in front of tshuva. Tshuva is the most powerful thing in this world, and the tshuva can erase and delete anything that you did in your past, as long as it's sincere, and as long as it's coming from your heart, and as long as you make sure that you're doing it the right way. רבי חנניה בן הקשה אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל, לפיכך הרבה להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר, אדוני חפץ למען צדקו, יגדיל תורה ויאדיר.